All right. Hello and welcome to our first kind of webinar, educational webinar for Acquisitionaire. And you guys were enjoying some Christmas music there, Santa Claus coming to town. So here's what Santa Claus is going to bring you guys. How would you like me to pay your fees for your platform for Acquisitionaire? How would that be? Some of you are paying $49 a month. Some of you are paying 197, some are paying 297. So I have a special way to waive those fees, or at least not waive them 100%. Because of the cartridge system, I can only take it down to $1. So that's the best I can do. I can reduce it down to $1. Now the way to do that is we're running a special promotion for all of you that got in here on the beta group. You guys are all very special to us. We appreciate you. And we have learned a lot from you guys running through our support. Believe me, we learned a lot about the system. We learned a lot about what it's going to take to support you guys. And it's allowing us to put really effective systems in place to do that. So you guys are a very special group to us because you're helping us get this thing figured out and going to make it a real winner. So what we're going to do is we're going to incentivize those of you that actually use the program. So here's how it's going to work. If you've got a private plane and you're just doing it for your own business, we're going to do a special promo for you guys to take your fee down to $1 if you're purchasing 300 leads per month. That's it. That's like 10 a day. That is very, very doable. If you're not doing 10 a day, I'm not really sure what you're doing. So for those of you in that category in the private plane mode, that's all it takes, 10 a day. And we're going to take your $47 fee down to $1. So that gives you more money to buy more leads, or it reduces your fee on the leads. It's like we want to do everything we possibly can to help you guys be successful. So if you're on the next level up, if you're on the corporate jet, that minimum is going to be 1,000 leads per month, not per day, per month. That means it's about 33 per day. That is not very much. If you're on the corporate jet level and you're selling this to customers, that's like one customer. You get one customer, we're going to take your platform fee down to $1. If you're on the full airliner, you're on the full white label, full boat, 2,000 leads a month, and we take your fee down to $1. So again, that's like 65 leads a day. That's one customer, two customers. So that Santa Claus just came to town to help you guys out. We really want to incentivize you to use the platform. We don't want you to just buy the platform and pay the platform fees and hope you'll use it someday. We want to do everything we can to help you get off the ground. Now, also in that, to qualify for that, you have to do those volumes for 3 months consecutive and then maintain it, and we will maintain it on our side for you. So if you let's say you do 3 months and then you stop, then you just go back to the platform fee. So it's up to you, but I would recommend you use the program. I mean, that's what it's all about. So anyway, that's our first thing. That's our first big announcement. That's our new promo. I thought you guys would really like that. I know, we kicked it around over here and we just decided it's a good thing to do because we want to help you. We want to incentivize you. And the next thing I want to talk about is our new onboarding. When we first rolled out, we didn't really have the systems fully up in place yet. We didn't have the instructional videos and all that stuff. So our first plan was let's just put Brady on and let Brady onboard everybody. Well, that was great till he lost his voice. So that's not sustainable for our future growth, and we learned that real fast. So we were scrambling. We got those instructional videos up as soon as possible. But in the meanwhile, what we realized was we kind of spoiled people having Brady do all the heavy lifting for them. So what we're going to do, we're not going to completely take that away, but as we're going forward, we're going to probably call it like a white glove install. And it'll be a paid service. So if you do want Brady to go in there and set your account up for you and just handhold you through the whole thing, that'll just be a white glove install service. Because I guarantee you guys can do this on your own. If you go through, I guarantee you everything that Brady's going to do for you in that white glove is all in those instructional videos. It's just like having our team right there side by side with you. You literally just follow the instructions. Now, there are a lot of people that just absolutely refuse to do that. And that's another thing that we learned in this process. We've gotten support emails, support calls, all kinds of stuff. And the first question now that we have those videos up is, did you watch the video? Well, no. Okay, watch the video. See if you still have the same question. But they just don't want to watch the videos. So we are going to have that. If you don't want to watch the videos, that's okay. Just order the white glove service. We'll have that up very, very soon for you. And that will be that'll be a way to solve that problem. We just want to solve all the problems and help everybody involved get up and get what you need to make it run. If we got to set it up for you, Brady's agreed to do that. So it's just it'll be an additional fee so he can soothe his vocal cords in between sessions and not get completely overrun. So that's the second thing. Let's see. What do we got on the list for the third thing? Okay, so for support, this is another difference. In the beginning, we just had you guys emailing Brady. We onboarded almost a couple hundred customers there in a Black Friday special. So you can imagine how many emails he got. That wasn't really sustainable either. The other thing is we want to take all of the emails, all the support tickets that are coming through and turn those into an FAQ that will help other people in the future too. So we have set up the Kartra ticket system. There's an actual help desk. When you log into your platform, you'll see in the bottom right corner, there's a little help icon. That opens up the support ticket area. So at this point, if you've watched the videos and you still have a question, go ahead and open a ticket. We've got 4 people watching the tickets now. We've got myself, we've got Brady, we've got Bree, and we've also got Daniel, who's on our programming team. And this was a brilliant idea from Brady was, hey, let's put the programmers in here, let them see the pain we're going through. So that was absolutely brilliant. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, so I got to give kudos to Brady for throwing that idea out. That was absolutely brilliant. To allow the people behind the curtain to see what the people in the front of the curtain are going through and to help soothe those issues. So again, we learned a lot from you guys. So thank you for participating. Thank you for, telling us all your frustrations. It has really helped us. Don't ever think that you're going to be a pain in our ass. If you're going through something, then 10 people that are not saying anything are going through it too. And it really helps us to build a dynamite system for you guys. So we would really appreciate it if everyone could use the ticket system from this point. There'll be situations where email is the right thing to do, but in most cases, if it has to do with support for the system, just go ahead and use the ticket system. It also gives us a history for each person in the program. So we can actually see, the history of the support tickets. So that's important for us, from an internal perspective. As far as you guys know, this has been a little confusing for some people, but we have two logins. And some people still are not aware of this. We have one login that is a Kartra membership site. The purpose of the Kartra membership site is for all of the training, all of the additional stuff that you'll get to support you and support your business outside of the program. The program is the core. The program is where you set up your campaigns. It's where you create your customers. You have your customers log in if you're a white label. All that stuff is done through the core program. So you have that login. That is an individual login to that part of the program. You have the other login that's the login for your membership site. So we're actually giving you a free membership site with your acquisition software. And like I said, the purpose of that membership site is to support you and support your business and support your goals moving forward. So like this particular webinar that we're doing right now will go into that membership site. So anybody that didn't see it, anybody that couldn't be on live today, they can log into the membership site and go through this, just like you guys are going through live. The only benefit you get from being live here is once I get through my checklist of all the stuff I wanted to cover, we're going to open this up. And if you have any questions, we're going to go through them. We've got Daniel on here. We've got Brady on here. Got myself on here. So I would think between the three of us, we could probably answer just about anything you can come up with. So we'll do that as soon as I get done here. But that membership site, like I do a lot of help and assistance in marketing in my ACT marketing protocol. And some of you guys are in there, you know how good those Thursday calls are. A lot of those Thursday calls have been focused toward the traffic that is being generated by Acquisitionaire. Because the ACT marketing protocol, it's all about marketing. And ACT stands for analysis, creation, and traffic. Acquisitionaire is in the traffic bucket of marketing. And it's the last thing that you do. You always analyze your market first to figure out who you're selling to, what they want, and why that is important to them. If you guys are not doing that in your business, you're going to struggle. I guarantee it. That is the most important thing that you could possibly do in your business is analyze your market, segment them. You're going to have different, they call them avatars. That's a representation of your ideal customer. And you probably have multiple avatars. If you speak one message to all of your customers or all of your prospects, you're blowing it big time. You need to isolate them. You need to talk to them specifically as though you're talking to them one-on-one. Even if you're doing it as a group, you need to make them feel special, or they're not going to buy from you. They're not going to keep buying from you. So that is really a huge part of marketing. And if you're in Acquisitionaire, marketing should be vitally important to you. Because if you're buying leads, you're spending money. And if you're not converting, you're probably not doing what I'm talking about right now. You probably haven't figured out your marketing. You haven't figured out your audience. I got to tell you, it is so crucial, not just to figure out what they want, but to figure out why they want it. The why they want it is where all the emotion lies. The emotion drives sales. So you got to get that piece right, or you need to hire somebody. If you hire somebody to build your funnel, make damn sure they know how to do this. And just the fact that you know what you need puts you head and shoulders above most people that go to a marketing company and hire them. And they don't get what they need because they don't know what they need. So once you've figured that out, once you've done that analysis, the next part of ACT is the C, that's the creation. That is creating the messaging to convey your value. If you can't convey your value based on what they want and why they want it, this is where you get to set buying criteria. This is where you get to show them you are the best solution for them. This is where you get to show them, create demand and desire for what you have. Eliminate objections and you make an offer. That is all in the C part of ACT. You can't do that without doing the A part. And if you start doing the T part, the traffic, without those two, you're destined to fail. I can pretty much put a blanket guarantee on that. I've been in this business a very long time, and I've never seen anybody, I mean anybody, that was successful without having those ducks in a row. Whether they knew about ACT or not, they might have got lucky, but I have not seen one yet outside of that was really successful. So it's super important that you guys get that, because I know acquisitionaire is very sexy. I mean, it is. It's the sexiest offer I've ever put out because it solves so many problems. This thing is like a dream come true for marketers. But that said, there's a lot of people that think it's a magic bullet, and it is not. It doesn't do everything. What it does is it tells you who's interested. That marketing part, that is up to you. You have to be able to grab their attention effectively, because this is when acquisitionaire gives you a lead, it's your job now to place an advertisement in front of that lead. It's just like any other traffic source. You can do pay-per-click and Google. You can run YouTube ads. You can buy cold email lists and market to them. I don't care what your traffic mode is, you're placing an advertisement in front of them. And the goal of that ad is to grab their attention. And the second piece of grabbing attention is a call to action. You got to get them to take an action. Otherwise, they look and they leave. So it's not just, you have to do more than just grab their attention. You got to get them to look, but then you have to get them to act. So you got to get good at advertising to make this work. Or you got to find somebody, or you need to go through the ACT program and learn this. It's not that difficult to learn. I bet you Richard's going to shrug his head at that one. But the concepts are all very simple. I say it's very simple, but then it's hard to implement because it's a skill. And nobody comes out of the box with skill. You have to hone that. And I'm there every Thursday helping our group hone their skills in marketing, within the ACT program. For those of you that don't know about that program, I do that for $29 a month. It's by far the cheapest help and support and mentoring you're ever going to find at that level in marketing. So it's a very worthwhile thing to do if you need that assistance. But anyway, that is just the guts of the honest truth behind all of this. I don't care what traffic form you're using. But like I said, acquisitionaire, in my opinion, it checks all the boxes for the ideal traffic source, because it's getting people that are in market, they're in motion, they're actually taking a step toward purchasing something. Or most of them are. I can't say 100% are going to purchase something, but they're at least showing interest. And if you're marketing to people that haven't even shown an interest yet, good luck with that. I've seen people do pay-per-click marketing, and they're going for keywords that are not buyer keywords, and they never convert. You got to get the people that show interest. So keyword research in acquisitionaire is very important. What keywords do you get? We've got, I think Brady has put in the membership area some ChatGPT scripts to help you create keywords and all that. So again, we're going to do everything we can to assist and help you guys be successful in this. But keyword research is really important. You need to know what keywords is the right person going to throw out that's got their hand up, that's ready to buy your stuff. And then you need to put that advertisement in front of them. And then you need to tell them what to do, the call to action. And now you're leading them into your marketing funnel. Now you're going to get to create a conversation. You're going to get to open up that dialogue that allows you to create demand and desire for what you've got to offer. And I guarantee you, it's going to lead to sales. I don't know if Lauren is on here, but Brady did a really good interview with Lauren. She's the email marketer that's been on our Thursday calls. She's had great success with Acquisitionaire. I mean, the numbers, we put a case study together for our marketing to feature her and highlight what she's done with the program. And the numbers they're freaking phenomenal. It's like unbelievable. She bought like 50 leads. And Brady, what did she turn that into? Like an annual 25 grand or 50 grand or something?
Yeah, it was 50 leads. It turned into like $50 for her each lead. So it was a little over 25 bucks for her. Um, each of those leads for her virtual receptionist customer was minimally the bottom package, the tiered package, which was $300 a month. So that was like $4,900 to the customer just by them buying the leads for 2,500 bucks. And the average turn, or I should say, churn rate, I believe, was 12 months. So it's like 40 some, almost close to 50 some
Yeah.
$1,000 off of the 50 leads they purchased. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those numbers are absolutely ridiculous. So, but it's all about the marketing behind it. It's not just about the traffic. So the system is absolutely amazing. You're going to find if you're doing this for yourself, that's one thing. So if you're doing it for yourself, you just need to figure out your own marketing. Simple piece of cake. We can help you with that on our Thursday calls if you need that support. If you're doing this as an agency or as a white label and agency is pretty much the same type of activity. It's the same mentality. You're trying to sell leads to customers. And it's just a matter of like with the agency level, that's the corporate jet level. You're basically going to be the lead agency and you're just going to sell the leads. When you go to the white label, you're stepping up the game. You're now a software company. You're selling the software to generate leads. So you can kind of offset the marketing onto the people that are going through your white label program. But if you're the agency and you're selling the leads directly to customers, that is again vitally important that you sell it to customers that know what to do with those leads, or you're not going to be successful. They'll buy the leads, but then they won't keep buying. Can you imagine the company that Lauren set that up and not buy any more leads when it was that successful? That's what you'll get if you do it right. They will want to buy more and more and more. So really important that you understand that. So, and again, whether you're doing this as an agency in the corporate jet or you're going full airliner and you're going all full boat and you're going to be the face of the company, the face of the program. The perfect, and I always looked at this like when I did SEO over a 25-year span, I always looked for who's my perfect ideal customer. And for me in SEO, it was a manufacturer between $2 and $10 million. So that's irrelevant in this conversation. But by me identifying who my ideal customer was, I made millions of dollars very easily. And some of you guys are just getting to know me. Some of you have known me for a long time. And those of you that have know how lazy I am. I go for the easy money. I don't count on me working real hard in my business outside of creating things. I'll work my ass off to make something right for you guys. But then it's on autopilot. So that said, what I believe to be the ideal customer here, for those of you that are going for the agency level and going to try and sell these leads, is find the people that are already spending a boatload of money on advertising. They've already figured it out. They're looking for traffic and they'll buy all they can get. Like there's people on Facebook that are buying $30,000 a month of Facebook ads. The only reason they're not buying 35,000 is there's not that much inventory. They're literally buying all. When you get a marketer that knows how to market and he gets conversions, and if he finds a traffic source, he's going to burn it down. He's going to use it all. And then he's capped out. The only way that marketer is going to grow is to find an additional traffic source that converts at least as good as the first one, or it's got enough profit to still justify it. If you find those guys and you get in front of them and you tell them what you have to offer, they're going to try it. I guarantee you they're going to try it. And then when it works, they're going to buy it all. They're going to buy every lead you can sell them because they know they scale. That's their thing. They're greedy as all get up. They're not going to leave a single nickel on the table. They're going to buy it all. And even a step up from that, an even better person for you to target is an ad agency. Ad agencies create marketing for companies, and then they become their media buyer. And they actually get in the middle of purchasing the traffic for those companies because those companies come to them for full support. They don't come to them just to figure out their marketing message. They come to them for the whole enchilada. Those ad agencies usually funnel the traffic for them as well, and they make money on that. That to me, in this business, that to me is an ideal customer. So you have two, they're kind of at different levels. If you don't feel comfortable going up to the ad agency level just yet, find the marketers that are spending a boatload of money. They're a perfect target for you. I've talked about this like the last 4 weeks on my Thursday call. The only difference from the guy making $1,000 to $2,000 to $5,000 a month and the guy making $30,000 to $1 million a month is confidence. Got nothing to do with anything other than that. It's confidence. Doesn't have to do with skill level. You can buy skill. It's the confidence to be able to walk into that ad agency and not have that little thing in the back of your mind saying, who are you to talk to them? You need to take that little guy and just knock him the fuck out. Get him out of your program. Seriously. You've got something worthy of talking to the top banana, and you should be very confident of that. If you don't have that confidence, I will give it to you. You have the tool to walk into those places and say, I got something you need. And if you don't buy it, I'm going to go to your competitor. And they're going to buy it. And if you do buy it, this is something that you have a lot of power here. Now, I've used this power throughout my entire career. I'll go into the top banana and I'll say, I've come to you because you're the best. I'm the best in what I do, and I want to work with the best. And if you decide that I'm not right for you, I would at least like some guidance on who you think your biggest competitor is. So we'll go offer it to them next. But I'm only going to work with one of you. I don't want to compete with myself. And holy shit, talk about moving people to action. That will do it. I did this live on stage at Glacier Kennedy in 2011. I put out an offer to do SEO, and I told the audience at the very end, right before, I already had them sold on the fact that they wanted me. They were all going to go to the back of the room and they're going to order my package. And then I threw the killer. I said, by the way, we're going to be numbering the order forms as they come in the back of the room. And we're going to be taking those orders in and onboarding them by the numbers. I don't take on competing customers. So if there happens to be one of you, like let's say there's a dentist in a particular region and they get in first and you're the second one, I'm going to give you your money back because I can't take you on as a client. You should have seen the heads turn in that room going, holy shit, who's here? Who's going to get him? I walked out the back door with $140,000 in orders from being on that stage for 70 minutes. So that is a very, very powerful thing. When these people, they run on greed. I guarantee you, they might seem like the nicest people on earth by talking to them, but I guarantee you they're greedy to the core. And if they think they're going to lose something, they're going to do anything they can to not lose it. So that's something you know that going in, that gives you a very high level of confidence. So this is the kind of stuff that we talk about every Thursday on that ACT call, by the way, for any of you guys that are not involved with that. I just share my experiences and, you know, address anybody that's having any kind of problems anywhere in their marketing. So that's what it's all about. I don't even know where we're at here. I kind of get off on these tangents, but I just wanted to stress the importance of this. There is a massive opportunity right at your fingertips, and I want to help you get it. And I'm not going to compete with you guys. I'm not going to go out to these agencies and do this. I'm going to step back and be in the software development mode with my team. That's where we're going to stay. We're going to stay behind the curtain. We're going to allow you guys to benefit from this. So don't think, we had that come up a couple weeks ago. Like they were all concerned with like who I was going to market this to. I'm only going to market this to people like you guys that want an opportunity, people that want to have something that's absolutely gold to offer in their business and want to make a fortune doing it. That's what it's all about. If you guys haven't figured out the size of this opportunity, we've also had people that run on a scarcity mindset. That's another one of those little guys on the back of your shoulder talking in your ear, talking shit. You need to kill them. Scarcity is not a thing. If you look at the marketplace, I know we're only USA leads. We're not worldwide leads. It's just the United States. Sorry. If there's not enough people in the United States for you to make millions of dollars off of, I don't think I can help you. But I'm here to tell you there are. And they're everywhere. So for you to be scared of like who's going to get to so and so first, who cares? There's so many and there's so few of us. I mean, right now there's about 200 people that have access to the program in the entire United States. That's nothing. There's thousands of guys that are marketing. There's hundreds of thousands. There's probably millions of people marketing their stuff that need help, that need these leads. And for you to think for a second that somebody is going to hurt your business because they get to somebody first, you might as well not even play the game. If that's the way you're thinking, oh God, it hates it. It just churns my gut to say this. You might want to go look for a job. That just churns my gut to even think that. But seriously, if you're not cut out for business, and there are people that are, or they're not. I've come across them. You know, I treat them like unicorns. But
Oh, that's silly.
but anyway, you gotta get those bad thoughts out of your head. Scarcity and not being confident, they got no business in your psyche. And if they are in there and you let them in, they're gonna hurt you. So don't worry about shit. Don't create ghosts. Don't create demons. The only demons are going to be the ones you create. This thing is absolutely gold. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to sit here and feel like I'm browbeating you guys, but I do want to make that clear and get that across. And for those of you that take this to heart and you are leaders, you are competitors, you want to grab the gold, I'm going to incentivize you even further. We're going to have a contest. We're going to do a little bit of a contest with us. I've done this before, by the way, and I forgot. I'm on the boat here in Newport for the Christmas parade, And I forgot to bring it with me, but I was going to bring it for this call and show you the gold bar that I have that we're going to give away as a contest prize. It's not a solid gold bar. It's 4 ounces of solid silver and it's coated with 24 karat gold. But it's a replica of $1 million bill. And we're going to basically give that to the first person that collectively, I don't know how many months it's going to take, might not take that long, but to get to 1 million leads and sales. And when you look at the numbers, it's not that big a number, really. You get, 10, 20 decent customers buying at an ad agency level, you're going to hit that really fast. And one of you is going to do it first. Probably one of you here is going to take that gold bar home. And Brady says he's going to get on a plane, hand deliver it to you. And hell, I might just join him. We might take you out and have a party. So, or we might fly you out. We'll do it on the boat here in California. So really, seriously, we want to celebrate you. We want to celebrate your success because your success is our success. Without you, we're nothing. Believe me, I don't want to go out and sell this myself. You could absolutely believe that to your core, and you could take that to the bank. And any of you that know me and have known me for a long time, you know how accurate and right that is. I don't want to work that hard. So it's the opportunity for you, and you're going to help us be successful. I don't remember, Brady was talking about the guy, I don't remember what his name is, but he said his core philosophy in business was you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want too. And that's a trickle effect. We're doing it for you, you're doing it for your customers. The more customers you help get what they want, you will automatically get what you want. That's just a core philosophy and the way it works. So, all right, let me take one more look here, make sure I've covered everything I wanted to cover. I think I have. It's time now for us to open this up for you guys to have any questions that you've got. I'm pretty sure
John,
we got
John, I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious, John, if you guys want to be business owners, I invite you all to get into a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet and sell 1,000 leads a month and make $1. And then the next month you sell 1,000 leads and make $1 plus the 1,000 leads from the previous month. Do that for 12 months and you'll find that you're going to have to widen the columns because it goes out to 6 figures really quick.
You mean make $1 a lead? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, numbers, guys. If you've never played around with a spreadsheet, it's a lot of fun to watch what could happen if you just do a little bit of effort. The zeros, like what Richard's talking about, the zeros, they add up really fast. It's really exciting. And what he's talking about there is he's just talking about adding customers. Like you add one customer, they buy leads, they get conversion, they make money, they keep buying those leads. Now you just do it for another one. You just doubled what you're making. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't double every time you do it. It just doubles on the first one. But every time you 10 times, you're adding zeros. So you add 10 customers a month. You could add a zero every month. It's crazy the math how it works. So he's absolutely right. So, and as far as like, let's do questions here. If you guys have questions, use the little reaction thing to raise your hand, and then I'll call you in order, and then whoever it's appropriate to answer it will.
Hey John, real quick, can I share my screen just to show them the new help button as well as go to for support ticket, just really quickly, because a lot of questions have been able to be answered without a support ticket, as we found, if people would just go there. So I'm going to share my
Sure.
screen around if I can. First off,
Absolutely.
in every screen, you will see a need help button right here. Once you click on it, it automatically opens up the support ticket. So Chris McLean, there you go. That was one of your questions, I believe, as well as if I go to the training and support site, you can go up here to the help button on the top right beside the log out, and then it will bring you to this support ticket again. Go over here, click support, and voila, it's the same area. So those are the two directions you can take when filing a ticket. And then as far as acquisition error, training and support site, this is what John was talking about early in the call, is you have two logins. They're sent here, this email is sent out when you register. Please bear with us. Nobody on staff does videography for a living. Our videos are not what I would call tip-top professional, top shelf, if you will, but they're jam-packed with information. I realize we're coming out with PDFs. Bree on staff has a way, she likes PDFs. She likes reading things. So if you're one of those people that hate videos, bear with us to get through all the videos and do a step-by-step screenshots. So step-by-step with screenshots is very time-consuming. So we're working on it. Very, very short distance between when we launched and when we had access to the platform to be able to make all these videos and information and things. So bear with us. But somebody asked about the GPT or ChatGPT prompt. If you go here to Search AI and go to Best Practices, when you open up Best Practices, this ChatGPT, I cannot stress enough these three areas right here. I've said this analogy. If you've done SEO, PPC, if you've literally been in digital marketing space forever, this is going to take a little bit of rewiring your brain to understand how our system works with keywords. And these three tabs right here is a very good start. This prompt right here, our tech team, along with actually a customer, I think he's on the call, helped us tweak this a little bit. I have used this time and time again for people that actually have reached out and say, hey, this keyword's not performing. It's a Google Analytics. It's got 20,000 searches. We don't care what Google says. This is how we're going to get some keywords. This is a ChatGPT prompt you can use or not use. Totally up to you. But this is our site. We're going to continue to build it out over here in additional resources. We're going to continue to add things. This is like a marketing brochure. I'm not a marketing, what I would call absolute professional, but I put something together that if I was in your shoes, how would I approach a customer to know enough about it that I could sell it without getting into all the marketing piece? Because like John said, if that's your goal to be the marketing, God bless you. But if you're going to sell it to somebody that knows what to do with it, you shouldn't have to go into all that. So that's that. I'll let questions roll from here. Daniel's on the call too. So if it's anything technical, he's your man.
All right, Mr. McLean.
Hey there. Good morning, everyone. I have a technical question for Daniel. I did a little work yesterday with I'm still having trouble with the A record setup, getting it to work and setting that up in the DNS registration. And even though I did some work yesterday, it's still not working. I have those pages all queued up. I don't know if you prefer I submit those screen grabs to a support ticket or I have them all queued up, and perhaps you could tell me where the trouble is. I've created a subdomain. I'm trying to point the A record to your site, your domain, but it's just not working.
Yeah,
great question.
Daniel,
so let's do the support ticket on that, just so we don't share anything that could be private with DNS settings, things like that.
And Daniel, just so you know, I actually set that up with him, so I can assure you the A record is correct and it's set up correctly. I think it's just a matter of time, because I did the same thing with Gregory, and it seemed to take like a day or more before it actually connected. And I think from talking with Daniel about that in that case with Gregory, it takes time. Like once the DNS connects, then our system has to detect it, and then it has to do additional work So be patient on that. I think your problem is going to solve itself within another 24 hours.
Okay,
And
thank you.
Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's correct. It often does. We can only set up the SSL certificate once the DNS is stabilized, and that's for security reasons. And so we have to see the DNS pointed at the server, and then we can issue the SSL certificate. So sometimes that gets caught in a broken loop. The DNS gets some weird stuff going on. It depends on your host, things like that. But again, I don't want to share anything that might. We're very careful with data integrity and privacy. So drop in a ticket, and we'll take a look immediately.
See, I can tell I'm dealing with a professional already. All right.
And
Thanks.
just for other people in the future that have the same thing, I want to ask Daniel this too. How long should they give the process before they suspect a problem and to put a ticket in? Should they expect like 48 hours after setting that A record?
Yeah, if it's more than 48 hours, so Dean just dropped dnschecker.org. That is my favorite tool for this. dnschecker.org, if you look it up on there, and it is correct on there, within 20 minutes of it being correct on there, it should be working. If it's not working, then submit a ticket. So sometimes DNS records don't propagate correctly. Sometimes they don't propagate quickly. It's often in the DNS propagation issue. So if you have this issue, submit a ticket. It is also best practice to set your DNS first, then save the URL in your dashboard. That's the correct order of events. So, but yeah, if anyone's having the same issue, I see a couple manual also, shoot a ticket in real quick and we'll take a look.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Brady, if you can put that link to that DNS checker in the resources and just kind of a brief description of, hey, if your DNS isn't hooked up after 48 hours, put a ticket in.
Yeah.
Look into it.
We'll do.
Hey, well, I just want to say thanks for that. And one last thing real quick is that we were watching the Amazon documentary about Amazon Empire and how its humble beginnings grew into a worldwide global event. So I'm just saying, I hope you guys are taking pictures of yourself as you make this product available.
We're going to do a lot of pictures of the person that gets that $1 million gold bill. All right, Greg, go ahead.
Yes. So this question is about setting up a search campaign. So if you can, tell me what is the difference for search AI when you run a campaign that doesn't include the phone and name, but only the email? Do you get more leads with just the email selected?
Okay, that I think is probably a Daniel question.
Yeah, great question. From a database point of view, the selections there require email will make slightly fewer leads if you require it or not. Most data entries do have email, but the rest of them, it doesn't affect the volume whatsoever. Some agencies will do a white glove experience for the clients, and some will include the phone number or not. And it depends on how much they want to mark up the leads for that particular campaign. So it's optional data for you to use as an agency, however you see fit. Some industries also have high sensitivity on certain, too much PII. They don't want the home address. They don't want the phone number. Just give me the emails. And so you can turn it on and off for your clients' needs.
Okay. All right. And you said markup. I mean, is that, I guess those are more valuable if you got 3 pieces of information as opposed to just the email?
Depending upon the client, can be. Depends on their follow-up campaign. But it can be. Real estate related, that's all home address.
Okay.
Things like that.
So if, and this is a potential question, I think, from a client, what would your approach be if you got the search leads with all their info and you called and, your client called the lead right away? And if that lead asks, hey, how did you get my number? What would the client's response need to be?
I've actually answered that one many times now. And basically, their information is in a database that they entered themselves and agreed to get marketing materials. So you can say you have agreed on one of our partners' websites that you for agreeing to marketing materials.
Okay.
So that's how we got your information. Almost everybody is in that database. They've opted in somewhere along the line to receive something from a marketing company. And there is these big, massive depositories of
Hmm.
advertisers' data. And that's basically where we're getting it from.
Right.
So
Okay.
like ad networks is very common. We can pull this from ad networks. But everybody in those ad networks has opted in to receive marketing materials, and they phrase it from our marketing partners, and we would be considered one of their marketing partners.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So, all right, Libby.
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and
Okay,
clear.
good. Good. I'm in the mountains and my thing is all wonky. Okay, so as a corporate jet, I talked to a guy who does, that marketing advertising management. He does this already.
Okay.
So he was the first person to talk to. It
Mhm.
took him about a nanosecond because he was totally interested to go, how can I white label this? I thought, yep, I knew that was coming. So, is that, I'm trying to, yeah, we do what, the 25% of his monthly fee, which is pretty small compared to, I know he's going to do thousands and thousands and thousands of leads because he does thousands of leads
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Does that,
So-
how does that play into what I'm doing? Otherwise, that's kind of a weird thing. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't really have the ability to sell him a white label as it is. We are working on taking on a handful of people. Like we're probably going to take 2 in 2024 for what's
Okay.
called an enterprise level.
Okay.
An enterprise level is basically what we're going to do is we're going to take what our developers has developed here and what we're calling acquisition error and clone it. And they would clone it for you, and then you would have exactly what I have. And then you would be able to sell them a white label. Now the
So,
qualification,
Okay.
the qualification for that is you would
Mhm.
have to be at like 50,000 leads a month, which again
Okay.
is not that much. And we're going to take on probably 2 of those to just to try them out and see how it goes in 2024. So if that's something you're interested in,
Mhm.
we can chew the fat on that one. But just to let
Okay.
everybody know that opportunity is coming, in 2024 for somebody that is, is going to be a big player, wants to do it.
Right.
But you're right on the money. Like you saw how fast he glommed onto that.
Oh
This
yeah,
is-
I literally, I didn't have to explain much at all.
Yeah, they
And
get it.
he was like, totally. I mean, that was his first question. I go, real good, Brian. So the thing is, I did set up the affiliate thing through Internet Dominators. And I know, to give him the affiliate link that'll go actually through you in
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
Does that
And
count
that's
towards
one.
my 1,000 leads per month, or how's that? How
It
does
wouldn't
that
like
kinda work?
if you were in our affiliate program, basically what you're
Mhm.
doing
Right.
there is you're just selling access to the platform.
Right.
It doesn't really give you access to their business, like to take a cut of their leads or anything.
Right.
But
Right.
if you were in the enterprise level, then it would,
Mhm.
because at that
Okay.
point you're basically getting the leads at a discounted price. So we're
Right.
basically like sharing my profit out of there, and then that
Okay.
would go to you.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
you,
right now it's 25% of his monthly fee, which isn't a whole lot of beans.
yeah,
Can it go to 50? Because I know we can't do anything with the 199, but can it go to 50? Because then I can
it's
see bringing in more people that way.
Yeah, it's basically it's 50% on the way the affiliate program works. It's 50% on the first sale, and
Okay,
then it's 25% of the monthly.
okay, okay, got it.
So,
Okay. So I
so
would
that-
I'll just send him the redirect, like, because he wanted to
yeah,
hear from me like today.
and the 50% is going to be a much more substantial because you guys got in without paying any setup fees.
Right,
The
right,
affiliate, the setup fees are in there mostly for the affiliates. So
right.
the affiliates get a big chunk up front. Like for instance, the white label it's 1997, so it's $2,000. So you
Right.
would get 50% of that. You'd be getting $1,000 on that sale.
Okay,
And
but
then
if we go through your affiliate thing, it goes back
you,
the white
you've bugged out there
label
with
goes back to like 497 or something like that. Because I followed the link around because I didn't want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know. Yes, I know. So I took the affiliate link that I have to the main page that that I put in, and I followed it through because I want to know exactly where is he going to go.
Yeah.
When he sees that,
Yeah, so he would
and
be
it
paying.
goes to full airliner as a monthly fee of $497.
That's correct. So you'd be
That's what
getting.
it said. That's what it says on that link.
That's correct. When we roll the program out, those will be the prices. So you'd be
Okay.
getting 25% of the 497
Okay.
every month. So
Right.
that is correct.
So is he going to have access to, is he going to have access to the training and all that too? Because that was the
Yes.
other question. Is it the same training that we're getting?
Yes. All
Okay.
the training that we're building is all generic. We're not putting any
Okay.
branding or anything on it. So even
Okay.
his customers, like when his customers come in and they
Right.
get they get a campaign or they're set up as a client, they would
Okay.
also get access to the dashboard to manage their campaigns, and they would have access to those training videos in there.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's really helpful in helping you supply the support.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's, so actually once I give him my affiliate link and he runs, because he already knows like what he's doing anyway.
You need to mute your
I don't really need
video.
to
Mute your video because your audio is breaking up.
I don't really need to manage anything for him.
No, if he knows how to run the
Yeah, let me do that.
campaigns, yeah, if he
Okay.
knows how to
How's
run
that?
the campaigns,
Is that better?
he should be able to do that, no problem. So
Okay. All
so
right.
like
But I
when
don't
you
need
get
to
in,
I don't really need to do much.
no,
All right.
when you get into these higher end, like you sell this to an agency, the agency is going to know how to run this. They're gonna be able to do
Yeah.
this, and it'll just be hands off for you at that point. You know,
Okay.
you might have
Okay.
some
Good. Yeah.
questions initially, but yeah, anything that we're building as far as support for this would be available to anybody that's using it at any level.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
All
I
right,
think that's good for what I got. Thank you.
okay,
John?
cool. Let's go to Diane.
Hey, John, real quick. Hey, Libby. So the training and support, as you guys see it now on training and support site currently, some of that is not anonymously branded. That was yours truly. All you guys don't need to know this, but I'll tell you, I was in a hotel room on vacation when I did those videos for training. So that's why they might look like poop or sound like poop. But we are in the middle of redoing those. So they are anonymous, that they have anonymous URLs and things like that. So that will be changed here very soon. John, one last comment before we move too far about the enterprise. 50,000 or more, 3 months in a row. Not just 1 month and then you go back to zero. We need to see that you're serious about your business and it's continuing to grow. So
I must have missed that. I meant to throw that out. Just like the other thing, for us to waive your platform fees down to $1, it's 3 months consecutive. Then you qualify, and then you have to maintain it as well. So, all right.
How does the override work, though, John? You weren't really clear on if I am an enterprise person and I sell somebody a white label. Did you say if we're not getting a piece of the business that we're white labeling to, why would we bother doing that?
No,
Yeah.
you would be getting a piece of that because like with mine, the way mine is, I have the wholesale markup. So instead of me having the wholesale markup, you would have it. So you would be selling to them at $1.99 or wherever you want to put it, but you would be getting my price. So you're
Which is what?
basically you're replacing that. That's a conversation to get into when you get there.
I plan on having that conversation. Thank you, John.
All right, awesome. I look forward to that conversation, Richard. And you want to do it quick too, because like I said, we're probably only going to do like 2 of those in 2024 because it's a massive undertaking. That's not something where we can just click our heels and we're not in Kansas anymore. There's a lot of work behind cloning this thing and getting that set up for you. So we're going to do 2 of them, see how they go, and then possibly more once we get a handle on it. But we've seen what it takes to get a handle just on what we've done, and it's an awesome project. So that's something you definitely want to be involved with, let me tell you. All right, Diane, go ahead.
You guys can hear me because my internet is just crap today.
Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Awesome. So I don't have the white label, but I was wondering if my clients, when they log in, if there's a workaround that they can get to buy directly from you. I didn't see it. I mean, I saw logo and that kind of thing, but I know that's me just being a little bit nervous, but
yeah, no, and that's why we do the white label, to really put that shield up for you. So if you're on the agency level, I probably wouldn't recommend that you give them login access. You're just selling them the leads on that level. That's how you would separate us from them getting to us. If you want to do the white label, then you're putting it on your own domain. They don't see any footprint of us, and that gives you the protection to allow them to log in. But
yeah.
like I said, if you're not on the white label, you probably just want to sell them the leads, because you can give them the Google Sheet anonymously. You can set up SendGrid for them anonymously. You can do any of that stuff for them.
Yeah,
And,
I think my only thought of why they would want access is if they go gangbusters and need to like throttle the leads or turn them back, and they're trying to get a hold of me, and maybe I'm not available or something like that, which is a good problem to have.
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, and that really, you probably should be on the white label for that. You should probably look at just stepping up to do the white label.
And that would solve my third question I'll jump to of if I do, because I had the same thought about approaching marketing agencies so that they can use it for their clients. So that would solve that, because then I could put them on their own account, and then the clients they sell to could be identified by the campaign names, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I was understanding that right. Thanks.
Originally, I didn't plan to do the agency level. I just planned to do the private for your own business and the white label. But then I had a couple of guys that are agencies, and they planned on doing it all themselves, and they didn't really need the white label. So we just added that additional layer in. But
Gotcha.
that's what it's for. The agency is just that. It's an agency that's going to sell leads, where a white label is somebody that's going to sell access to a platform for you to do your own lead campaigns.
Okay. And either one of those, I guess, would, and this is my last question / thought for today, so I'll leave it to somebody else after this. And I realize this is my own fear talking, so I'm working on that. But the whole, they get charged weekly for their leads, and should they not pay, then that cost falls onto me. That scares the crap out of me. I'm not going to lie. So
yes.
Is there, I mean, I know I can throttle them. Like I can limit them to, whatever, 300, 500 leads a week until they show me they're paying. Yeah, again, no, I led with that. This is my own fear.
No, that's an actual valid fear. This is a general business concept. you're extending them credit and you don't know if they're credit worthy. So in that case, somebody just asked me that. In fact, I think it was Eric that asked me that last week. What I would do in that case is just create a retainer fee for them and say, you need to keep $500 or $1,000 retainer fee that basically guarantees the level of leads that you're going to be buying. It's almost like, when you rent a house, they have a deposit, and the deposit stays on file to guarantee the next month's rent.
Yeah.
So that's an easy way, just from a business perspective, to do that. You just charge them a retainer fee. It stays on file until they, decide they want to cancel or quit or whatever, and then you just give it back to them.
Yeah, this is a really cool platform and product. So looking forward. I'm a little late on getting mine set up, but that's a this weekend thing. And this is, I'm just really good stuff. So thank you for making it available.
Well, cool. Yeah, and don't be afraid at all of a question like that, because that's actually a legitimate fear. That's
Okay,
not,
good.
that's not the little guy I was telling you to kill. That's common sense. That's self-preservation. So that is a legitimate fear that you have. I had the same thing, and because of the mistake I made, and we've already had somebody make the mistake of not throttling the leads and getting, a whole bunch more leads than they wanted. And it's like, they wanted to know, well, can we not pay for those? I'm like, no, those are your responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah,
but, no, it's and even if it's not a lot, it adds up. If you've got several clients and there's some payment issues, it is I don't have deep pockets yet.
Well, you probably will very soon by using
I'm on
this.
board.
So, and it's like, as your business grows, that will be less and less of a fear for you.
Sure.
And also, you can outsource a lot of things. Like, a lot of people don't do their own accounting because it's just not worth their time to do accounting. And a lot of people, even more people, don't like to chase money because that's no fun at all, and that's not what they do. So there are collection agencies. I have one that that we use in our business, and I can connect you with that. So if there is someone that ever becomes problematic, you just hand over the account and they take it from there.
Awesome. Keep that in mind.
Then,
hopefully won't need it, but it's good to know.
Yeah, and then you're no longer the bad guy, and you can just offsource the bad guy stuff.
Well, yeah, because am I right in thinking that if they get a week's worth of leads and they get billed for those leads, we're already in the next week. So theoretically, even if I don't know what the terms come through on the invoices. I don't know. I think it's pay upon receipt, but I don't know that.
And that's why we did it weekly instead of monthly.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing that we've also done to prevent the problem of, I forgot to set my default, is we set the default number of leads on a campaign now, I think, to 10 a day or 5 a day, something like that, just so that doesn't happen again.
Awesome.
So it's like they can't, nobody can say, well, I didn't know, because they're either going to get the minimum, or if it's something different from the minimum, we know, oh, well, you changed it, you set that. you set that to unlimited.
Hey, Daniel, do you want to speak, since we're on that topic, with a few developments that are in process regarding batch purchases one time?
Yeah, sure. So, we are developing a couple of upgrades by your request. One of them is prepaid batch purchases. For example, you could set $500, and every time it hits $100 credits left, we'd rebill for another $500. So working on that, and also working on rebilling within the platform. So as an agency, you'll need to go into your Stripe account currently and rebill, or take collection from a check or however you manage with your clients. In the very near future, we will have one-click rebilling right within your dashboard, where you could update the credit card information or just retry the current card. They say, oh, I have money on there now, sorry about that. And you could just retry that bill right there in the in your dashboard.
And this is all from feedback from you guys. You guys are really molding this program into an unbelievable opportunity. So I just think everything about what we're doing here collectively is downright awesome. All right, Eric, go ahead.
Hello, John. Hope all is well. Thank you for this call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a meeting with a potential client this morning, and the question came up. They loved everything about it. The one question they came up with is, what can you provide me to show that this is compliant so I can run it by our compliance department?
Okay.
Versus just,
Dan,
I said opted in, consumer database, everything's
sure,
forward, but they're like, what can you provide us?
sure. Daniel, is there anything we can physically provide on that, or is it just
Yeah,
verbal?
it is upon audit, we can pull URLs of opt-ins. That is a manual and painstaking process. So we typically that's not something that can be provided automatically, if that makes sense.
Okay. Is there anything that we can potentially Google for an article on consumer databases and the legalities of that? Because a lot of the clients that we're running into, they're like, this sounds way too good to be true. And how are you doing it? Is it legal? We're just trying to find something we
There
can
are
here.
a good explanation is there are if you ever go to a website and hit yes, I fill out a coupon form or something like that, an app such as Honey, which scrubs Amazon and 500 different companies for your best deal. There are millions of people a month who opt in for couponing sites, third-party offers, and things like that. So that's an example of the Honey app is an example of where people opt in to send me your offers, and we will oblige you.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know, have a specific answer on that, but the Honey app is a perfect example of where this data ethically comes from.
Okay. Okay. And then I think the other concern they had is this ethically being tracked? Like, how are you getting this information? Which I know that we don't get into, as John said, the tech stack. If you want the sauce, it's $1 billion. But we're
Yeah.
just trying to figure out, with these bigger companies out there that have to run things through compliance, what can we provide them, if anything?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't provide the we sell, what's your phrase, John? We sell chickens, not the recipe.
yeah. We use the
so-
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
But a good way to explain, there are dozens of publicly published identifiers, and those are used in conjunction with ethically gathered databases to identify individuals who identify individuals. So yeah, that's honestly the best way to explain that.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to look at what other people are doing. If this is something that is going to be coming up regularly with people that you're talking to, because it sounds like you're talking to different kind of people. Like, I gotta tell you, I had a meeting with a group of guys last week, and they were coming up with stuff like that. And what I came to the conclusion after an hour of ridiculous questions like that, they were not my customer. And I just bid them a good farewell.
Okay.
So, when you get people that start getting into nitty gritty and like that, they're looking for a reason not to do it. And they want it bad. And, like the person that Libby talked to, I guarantee you she's not going to go through that question.
Yeah.
They're going to see the value and they're going to go, oh my God, how do I get in? So that's a matter of talking to the wrong person, more than likely.
Yeah, we've tried to niche down on a specific couple industries, and I think some of these industries have compliance departments where they have to run their
That's
stuff through and they're like, we can't really do this without getting the thumbs up on it. So can you provide us something? And I'm like, let me
yeah.
find out.
Yeah. No, we've had the same thing with SitePop. When we sold SitePop, if you're trying to sell SitePop to any kind of an attorney or a financial person that has the compliance departments, don't even bother.
Yeah.
Not going to pass.
Yeah.
They don't pass anything. So
Okay.
just identify that. Like earlier in the call, I was talking about how important it is to identify your market,
Yeah.
identify who your perfect customer is. And you'll have a lot of them that those are segments of the market, and each one represents a different avatar. So figure out like your avatars, and then I like to figure out, okay, which is the most profitable avatar, because that's where I want to spend most of my time. I'll spend my time on the others if it's a laydown. If they show up on my doorstep, yeah, I know how to talk to them, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to go out and hunt them. I'm going to hunt the profitable ones. So that might be just a case of, yeah, okay, and that might be an easy access for you to those people because you know them, but they might not be the right people.
Okay.
So I would give you that as advice. Because
Appreciate it.
anybody, when you said that, it kind of triggered that with the site pop. Compliance is a pain in the ass.
Okay.
They're just, and they're in several different niches, anything to do with legal, anything to do with in some cases medical. They got all the HIPAA stuff and all that. Although that seems to have loosened up considerably with COVID. But anything to do with finance, absolutely, they're real sticklers.
Okay.
But that's who you're probably talking to. You're probably talking to one of those guys, a bean counter. That's even if you give him everything he needs, he's still going to be a pain in your ass.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? Tech, marketing? I mean, I'm open to anything that will help you guys to get this off the ground. Rich, looks like you got your hand up.
Yeah, how are you?
Good.
Just a question for you. I'm trying to determine pricing. You don't want to cut yourself too short. You don't want to be overpriced. Just kind of wondering what everybody's setting their pricing at per lead on a weekly basis and for setup. I know I saw in one of the videos there's going to be the ability to have different prices for different types of campaigns and tiers of clients.
Correct. Yeah, you can actually set the prices in any of your levels. Like you could set pricing for a particular customer or the particular campaign, anything like that. Now for just in generic for the pricing conversation, it's going to depend on your business model. If you want to sell these to ad agencies and major volumes, I wouldn't price it very high. I would take a small margin and make a lot of money across 1 million leads. That's what personally, that's what I would do. I would be looking for those opportunities. If you're in the agency mode and you're actually taking on customers, there's been some people that want to focus on high dollar customers. Like they want to specialize in like solar.
John Starlink just unlinked.
Niche, and they know
I knew
if
what you was
that's the
gonna say.
case, then you need to kind of research that market, and then you need to figure out, okay, what for my business for this, what do I want to sell those leads for?
I can't
So,
right now. We can only set one pricing tier though, right? And then eventually you guys are going to add in.
Daniel, is that in right now, or where are we with that?
Right now, there is a default pricing tier for every campaign, but in the very near future, we will also have default pricing on a client basis that if you have a high performance client, you can go in and set their default pricing at a custom rate, a high volume rate. And then when they go in and create new campaigns for themselves, things like that, it will be pre-built at the lower high volume rate.
Okay. And one other question, seeing it wasn't in the videos because it's probably, such a ridiculous question. What's the difference now between the two leads? You have the search lead and then you have the site lead. The site
Yeah.
lead is people that came to my site.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So the difference there is just what it says. Like a search lead is someone that's out searching. They're
Right.
not on your site. They may never have been to your site. They may never have ever heard of you. So that is an opportunity outside of your site. And then a site lead is somebody that actually hit your site. They might not have searched. They might have come in through a link, or somebody gave them your URL and they might have just come there direct. So it's kind of like a retargeting pixel.
Got it. Perfect.
Retargeting is great. There's a lot of people that make a lot of money on retargeting, and it's like it's one of the cheapest forms of advertising because the ads are so cheap to run, but it's all people on your site. Though all money you spend is to get them to your site, and then you can retarget them. But with this, you're actually getting their email address. It's not like you have to follow them with retargeting ads. You can just reach out to them. Now, I wouldn't reach out to them in a way that says, "Hey, I saw you visited our site," because that's a little freaky. You might want to just do your ads as though they were retargeting ads, not as though, "Hey, I saw you visited my site." I wouldn't recommend that. But it's like if you want to know, let's say you're running an ad campaign and you wanted to know how many of the people over there came over here. That would be good. But to know, like, that's really important information for a lot of businesses to know who came to their site.
Got it.
And to be able to get their email address is just like icing on the cake.
And then on a local basis, I can tell somebody like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get all the leads that go to your competitors' websites because those will show up within the program, correct?
That would be pretty cool. If you can't really get leads off someone else's site. You can get leads off of search that potentially would have gone to other sites.
Okay.
But for you to get site leads, you actually have to put the piece of code on your site. So you don't have access to your competitor's site to put the code on there. If you did, okay. If you did, then I still don't know that I would recommend that.
As an IT guy.
Rich, in that example, it's good to mention because I think a lot of people, because we live in, again, this SEO, Google search world, and we've kind of got to break out of that mold and think about search bars and the actions behind what people are searching for. Competitive keywords work really good in our system. Even if you're a local business and say you're a medical waste company or whatever, and you type in Clean Harbor. Now, again, that could be broad depending on the size of business you are, the budget that you have. Real estate, for instance, Zillow, Realtor, and Redfin. For $2 a lead or $3, $4, $5, you're going to sell it to your end customer. They're buying $8, $10, $20, $300 showing requests from Zillow all day long. If somebody's typing in Zillow in a search bar, they may be dream building, but most likely they're looking for properties. It may be 6 months. It may be 6 days. It could be 6 years that they're going to purchase a property. But how a lot of other realtors we've talked to, if they have somebody in their system for $2 and it's in their database and they can put a what's your home worth or a monthly newsletter out to that person, and they see that person continuing to click through emails, that's a very cheap prospect for a high-end ticket. And I get it, and it's a high-end ticket, but putting a competitive keyword is something that I've looked through a lot of campaigns and people are not utilizing.
So it's safe to say, I can say, hey, anybody that does a search for your business, I can get their information. As opposed to being on your
Daniel, I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah.
It's not everybody.
Right. So the great way to say it is I can tell you who is on the internet searching for and reading about your business and your competitor's business. So you can, in those keywords, you can put in, and the chat AI script is phenomenal at this, helping you flesh out what the keywords for your competitors, for product specific things. If they're selling appliances, then the word Maytag or the word Frigidaire. What are they searching for and reading about? And with the search tool specifically, if someone is searching for a particular service or product, they're pretty high intent. But remember, they don't know your client from anyone, right? They didn't go to your client's website. So the know, like, and trust has to be built by educational value add campaigns, retargeting, and awareness. But also don't undervalue the reading about, the contextual side of things, because the big boys, the Googles and the Yahoo news articles and the social networks, they all send recommended articles to people based upon their interests, and they'll click on those and read them. So the fact that they were reading about that keyword, they didn't necessarily search for it, but they clicked on something because they were interested. So they're still pretty high intent, and it's very likely that you can get your customer in front of their customer before they're actually searching, because you can identify them when they are in the contextual, when they're reading about, they're doing market research, they're comparing. I was shopping for a hot water tank, and the concept of, I was looking at brands specifically and reviews, and I spent 2 months researching hot water tanks, of all ridiculous things. So before I actually got it and started searching, and I was getting articles everywhere. That is a great example of using the keywords, using the product specific keywords, and then building up an awareness campaign of for your client's client, if that makes sense.
Yep, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
On that line, Rich, if it shows up as a contextual keyword, and this is in the videos, but I'll show you guys since you're on here. If it shows up as a contextual keyword versus a keyword, that's okay. If it shows in the bottom portion, like you just talked about, the contextual keyword you're putting in at the bottom portion of your search campaigns, it will show up with an exclamation point in front of it. So you will know if they were actually reading about it or if they were actually typing in those keywords in a search. So there's two different types of keywords that will show up in your database from that. The one thing I've seen a lot of people do looking down through campaigns, I just don't have enough time in the day, guys, to monitor every single campaign you guys are setting up. It's crazy. But one word, I mean, if you have the budget for it, by all means, it could be one of the best producing keywords for you, or a contextual keyword. But if you put in a contextual keyword, business, one word, business, you have no clue what kind of business they're reading about. But if you put in auto insurance business, now maybe you're narrowing that down a little bit as to the article they're looking for. But that is something that could be dangerous if you're not paying attention to what you're copy and pasting in your keyword section. So I don't know if I nailed that coffin, but there is one guy that's in the chat that doesn't have a mic. That before we go to George and Eric, I apologize, I'm going to ask John's question. But go ahead, John, if you had something to say.
No, you can go ahead. What was the question that was in the chat?
So John Phillip asked, he's interested in finding out what competition that we face in the lead gen marketplace. He said he had a financial planner that told him that real-time leads based on consumer behavior online is nothing new. As salesmen, we need to know our unique selling proposition, what leverage we have with prospects. Are we offering something new or unique? If so, please explain so we can demo how we are different. Also, do you have a contract we can use for a prospect?
Gotcha. Okay. So yes, this actually is different and new than anything I've seen yet. I have seen the performers that he's talking about. There's a guy in New York, won't mention his name, but he's been touting that he's had this for years. And I know a lot of people have used it and none of them were happy with it. And I see a ton of people flooding the market right now with AI lead gen. And it's all crap. What it is, mostly it's scrapers. It's like, we're going to use AI to generate leads, and all they do is they go in and they take who you're looking for and they go scrape LinkedIn. Those are not people that are interested. Those are people that are going to be pissed if you reach out to them. So this is very different in that aspect. The other thing I've seen, they're using, the term AI very loosely. is, and it's nothing new. They're just packaging it to sell it in a new way. Is they're buying email database lists. There's marketing companies out there that specialize in lists. You can buy a list of almost anything you want. You could buy 10,000 email addresses for somebody that has bought Starbucks coffee, in the last month. It doesn't mean they're interested in what you have. And with email marketing, traditional email marketing gets very, very low conversion because it's so generic. You're literally just buying a generic database and you're emailing everyone on the planet trying to figure out who's interested. With ours, they've actually expressed an interest by taking a physical action of either searching specifically for a keyword that you're interested in or consuming content. Those are very high indicators that this is a high intent lead. And that I haven't seen anyone else actually doing that. There are guys like the one I was talking about in New York. He again is using scraped data to try and figure out who high intent leads are. And I know there's others that have been doing that for a long time. So they're saying they're creating high intent leads, but they're just scraping and they're putting a bunch of indicators together. We're using an actual physical indicator of the person doing a search. I don't know how you can get any better than that. Consuming content and searching, that, in my opinion, that's as good as it's going to get. Taking that one step further, getting better than getting as good as it's going to get, is creating the email campaign that's going to run the ad to them and get them to take an action. There are people that are selling leads that have done that. If you're talking about those guys, those are lead gen companies that are actually creating SEO, they're buying traffic, they're doing all kinds of stuff to get people to opt in. Those leads would actually beat out what we have because it's somebody that physically opted in for that exact thing. Those are hard to come by. And usually the lead gen companies that are doing that, they're not selling a $2 lead. They're selling a $75 lead. They're selling a $100 lead. So if you're talking about those, you have to really just look at what you're talking about and figure out, what are they doing? How good are their leads? Our leads are one step below that. They've physically shown intent, but they haven't opted into you yet. So if you want to be like a lead gen company, you could buy the traffic just like these lead gen guys are doing. You could buy the traffic from Acquisition Air, and you could do that. You could run the ads to them to get them to opt in, and now you can sell those opted in leads for big money. Big money. But that's a lot of work. You are becoming the ad agency. You're doing all that work. It's like they're not just buying the steak from you. You're cooking it for them, and in some cases eating it too. So, but you'll make the lion's share of the money if you want to do that. If you want to work that hard, that is a viable business option. Personally, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole because there's other people that are way better than I will ever be at that, probably way better than you'll ever be at that. I would let them do that.
Personally, I believe we're buying so much respect.
All right. Anything else there, Brady? Or did I hit that right?
Yeah, no, I think you're good. I hope that answered your question, John. Sorry for the overlook. I didn't see your message. I'm talking about John. John, sorry. His mic's not working, so he asked if we could say his question to you live because he didn't have a mic. So hope that answered your question.
Gotcha. Perfect. Yeah. And I apologize, guys. I don't look at the chat when I'm doing these things. I'd get all out of kilter. So I can't read and chew gum at the same time. I can chew the gum really good on my own though. All right, George, go ahead.
Hey, John, how are you?
Good.
So Yeah, John kind of answered, or John's question kind of answered my question a bit too. But man, I got to tell you, like I've already told some people in my business network what I'm doing here, and it's crazy. Like a lot of them are like, send me that link. I need that link. So I mean, I'm starting to think like, man, I need to like upgrade from the private jet to the next one so I could just respond to them. So what does that upgrade process look like?
It's you put a support ticket in. We have to manually do the upgrades right now, so it might take it might take a little bit of time to do it, depending on how many people you've got in already and all that. So, but
Okay.
yeah, you can just put a ticket in and we can do that for you.
Cool. And the deals that you were talking about, like if we get X amount of leads, per month, whatever, or can we get an email or something with that? Because I don't remember already what those
Sure.
numbers.
Yeah, no, I'll put that up. In fact, I don't want to put it in the members area because people after you guys are not going to get that same deal possibly. They might not, but I know I'm giving it to you guys, and it's good forever. Like if you get to that level 3 months from now, 6 months from now, I want it there as a carrot for you guys. So whenever you get there, you get the prize.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll put that together for you.
Thanks for everything you're doing, John. I think it's awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you're very welcome. This is probably one of the most exciting projects, of my career. Really, honestly, this is awesome.
Hey, Eric and Chris, thanks for being patient. I didn't answer the second question to John Phillip. John, he asked, also, do you have a contract we can use for a prospect?
Oh, gotcha.
I can.
No, we really don't, but I mean, you can get a generic boilerplate thing probably off of Google search pretty easily. We
And
don't get into like, your business model and, your contracts and all that. We're not attorneys. Uh, whatever you do, you should write up and have an attorney look at, just to get their stamp of approval on it. We don't want to get into that excess level of responsibility. I mean, we've done it on our side. We have attorneys and, they make sure that everything we're doing is on board and above par and all that stuff. But
and
yeah,
I want to expand on that a little bit from the tech side because I personally helped build this on the this particular feature here that I am very proud of. So I want to speak on this. When your clients go through their onboarding and they agree to the billing terms of service and put their credit card in, that there automatically tokens your business name in there, and it also it will cover you. So the attorneys very carefully worded that so that your business name goes in there for liability purposes, and that they're promising to respect the data integrity of those leads. So now that is not a complete service agreement. Like John talked about, you need a complete service agreement. We can't do that. But for the raw liability and the basic, that is automatically tokened if you're an agency or white label agency and your clients go through the onboarding process of the platform. But if you don't use the platform, or regardless, you should have a complete service agreement independent of that. But that is a basic liability coverage that is prepared for you, and it automatically puts your name in there. So Dominator's name is not in there at all if you're a white label agency, and that is prepared for you.
yeah,
What
I'm glad
what
glad you
liability?
reminded of that.
What liability could we possibly have for them?
So maybe they build up a huge amount of leads and a database, and their database gets breached. Well, they have already told you that they're responsible for data privacy of their customers. Or they don't unsubscribe when their customer requests. That's liability, but they are promising to respect any client's unsubscribe notice by using this platform. So there's a handful of things like that where an end user, there's a basic wall of protection that the end user is agreeing to treat these customers with respect and honor the unsubscribes and take reasonable steps to protect their data privacy, things like that.
Is that, I mean, without writing a contract, could you give us a bullet point of the issues that you do have in there so we can know what kind of a list, because if you've already got a list of things that you think should be covered, not in the form of a contract or anything binding, but it's sort of like a checklist that we could take to our attorney and say, okay, here's the liability stuff that we're currently aware of that we need to be protected against. Could we at least get a laundry list like that from you so that we know what we're
Yeah,
it's already in there, Richard. You just copy it.
Yeah, feel free to go in and copy and paste the service agreement. When you pull up the credit card screen, create a fake client for yourself, and then go in as that fake client and update your credit card. And that billing service agreement has all that in it right there.
Just make sure you don't use the same email you're using to get into your agency.
Yeah, you've already agreed to it by signing up through ours. So you've already seen it. Well, maybe you didn't scroll it and read it, but it's in there.
perfect. Thank you.
All right. All done, Brady? We're good?
I think so. On to Eric. Thanks for being patient, fellas.
Okay, cool. So back to Eric.
Got another question for you.
Sure.
We had spoke about this. I think I sent an email in regards to the campaigns that are already created. So if you create a campaign, save it, then you go back in to edit the campaign. I'm not seeing the number of leads inside the edit campaign. Is there a way to edit the amount of leads on a campaign that is already created and saved, or you run it, pause it?
Yes,
possible?
that is in the financials. Once the campaign is saved, it is in the little money icon, the financials icon.
If you can't see it, it's because your screen might be small. You need to scroll. I believe, Daniel, you can throw me under the bus if this isn't correct, that you're changing that and scooting it over a little bit.
Yes, we are optimizing that left justification is what it's called. But yes, we are. If your screen resolution is just wrong, then the icons to the very right of the dashboard, you might not see those. But there's a financials icon where you can click on that and edit the various prices as well as the number of leads per day.
Got it. Okay, I was clicking the edit button.
Yeah.
Got it.
The edit button will help you change keywords, geo-target, contextual. The money sign is the financial piece. That's where you're going to change your leads. And your customer only sees a client-facing dashboard. They will only have the option if they have an editing of capabilities, because you give them those. It only sees leads per day. They don't see anything financially.
Okay. And then we can go in on a current campaign and edit zip codes and keywords, and then hit save, and it'll just update that specific campaign.
That's correct.
Okay. And then when that's done, is there another 24-hour period for that to, set up, or does it start like immediately?
It starts immediately. An edit starts immediately. Then the new creation has a ramp up.
Okay, perfect. That was it. On to the next one.
Cool.
Thank you, guys.
Back to Mr. McLean.
Hey there again. I have two quick questions. The first one is in my account, it's okay for me to go in there once I have an account with in my acquisition air account. It's not the Dominators account. It's okay for me to go in there and change my email address if I want to use a different email address, and even my company name. It's okay to make those changes.
Daniel, is email okay to change?
Yes, as long as email is just fine to change, as long as you don't have that email already in there as an example or a personal account. So one email per login permission level. So if you go in and set yourself up as your first customer, make sure to use a different email address for that.
Yeah, that would be good. One quick suggestion, if you're creating videos, which would be kind of a cool utility video, is once you get the account set up, like my account, I'm white label. Once I get it set up, will be a really groovy video to say, hey, let's go ahead and add you as a client, just so you can see from the client's perspective what they're going to see. And just, you know what I'm saying?
That's a video, Chris. I'll show you where it's at.
Okay. All right. Well, that was quick. In
agency.
Yeah.
Client onboarding process. Right here.
Is that also in the white label?
It's in the white label as well.
Okay. All right. Super.
And if
And then
it's
I just
not, it's right here.
thank you. And this way we can test. It's a clear guide, so we can test it and make sure that we're
I'm just picking on you, Chris, but prime example of not watching
Yeah.
the video. No, I'm just kidding.
right. No, pick away.
Just kidding.
Pick away. One last, and if nothing else, it almost made Jeffrey Wolf like choke on his food. Made him
It's
laugh
only
so
because
hard.
you're a Michigan fan. That's why I did it.
Yeah, go blue. It's only because we're kicking everyone's ass. All right. Well, here's my one clarification question. It's great the information that comes up, on the Google sheet and whatnot. You see the time and the name and the phone number, address, and then the words that they were using. Just a clarification. This came up earlier. Adding the telephone number and address doesn't I think I saw in one of the videos, Brady, you mentioned, and I may be wrong, if you add phone number and address, it's not as reliable, and the search may actually jump over valid leads because it doesn't have those two pieces of information.
Daniel, go ahead.
Does enabling those diminish the quality?
Great question. It does not. Those are additional data points that are not every lead has a phone number.
Okay.
So we will still deliver to the data integrity, still deliver. Let me think through the server. Yes, it will still deliver regardless of the accessory data points, but requiring email address, that is the first name, last name, and email are the required datas. The rest are accessory datas, and it will still deliver to your client even if it's missing those. So yeah, they're not always available.
Okay,
and it won't. No, it will not diminish the quality of the email address. The email scrubbing, email data integrity system is independent of the phone and home address.
Okay, super.
Daniel, I think what he's asking, and I think I remember this in the video, and this could have been something that was previous versus other developments, but when you click all three, you could possibly limit yourself as to how many leads you are sent, because if you only chose email address, you could actually have more data sent to you because it's out there trying to find two other data points.
No, I'm sorry, that is not true. So clicking all three will simply append the additional information if it's available, but it will still deliver the same amount of leads.
Okay, because what we're really going for, right, is the email address and the keywords, right? That's really
Correct.
it. I just want to make sure it's like, oh man, we got the email address and we got those keywords, but oh, you check the boxes. We don't have a good.
No, it does
Okay.
not filter out. It's not a require phone number. It is append if available.
Man, okay, that sounds great. To that end, and the last question on that, the keywords are really important, right? Even though you can put in, and Brady was kind enough to walk me through that process of, you can put a number of keywords, 1, 2, and 3 phrase keywords that you're looking for. The verification, what ends up on that Google sheet is when they've twice used those exact, let's say I'm doing 3-word searches. They've used those exact 3-word searches twice, or they used one of the 3 words here and one of the 3 words that you had down here.
Great question. So all three, if you use a 3-keyword phrase, a 3-word keyword phrase, all 3 of those words must be in a singular search or singular article browsing experience if you're doing contextual. The order of those words does not matter, but the presence of them in that user event does matter. So it doesn't combine user events. If you had a 3-word keyword, those all 3 words must be included in that particular user event to be validated. So it would not add one browsing session and another browsing and another browsing session to combine all 3 of them into an intent. Does that make sense?
No, it does. And so I get it, like money, marriage, fights. It could be any, it doesn't have to be that specific order, money, marriage, fights, but marriage, fights, money, that still counts.
Correct.
That's
Yes.
still, but my question is your verification process include if they use it twice? If they use those exact same words twice, is that the verification that they used it twice, or just once that they used it?
Just once. So
okay.
yeah. just once in a single search or a single article experience.
So that's the verification. They use those 3 words in that combination. Okay, I got it in my head somehow. It's like, hey, if they use it twice, then they're really looking. But if they type it once, they're really looking too. So, okay.
Right.
Thank you for the clarification.
Great question. That was a great question.
One of Chris's questions brought another one for me to you, Daniel. If he does change his email in the back-end program, does that have any effect on the connection through the API to Kartra?
Let me think about that for a moment.
That's definitely one to ponder.
Yes, I don't believe it does.
I believe it does.
So the way I don't believe it does for our system, because we're keyed off his Kartra. We're keyed off his Kartra internal user ID, which is not his email address.
Okay, perfect.
But the reason I asked that, and again, I'm clear about, email addresses. I know, they're important. What my experience was, I signed up first on the app on your side, right? And then I signed in on Internet Dominators, and I had the same thing going. But then I changed an address. I said, "Oh, that's the once this came about, I said, "Oh, that's going to be a new website. That's going to be a new email address." Once I changed it on your app site, it did not work on Dominators. And when I put on my username and password, I put it in a Excel document so I can copy and paste it. It's not like I'm, missing. But anyway, somewhere along the line, I changed it. Dominators fell out, and then I had to reset it to a different one that I already had with it. So that's why I asked the question: if I change things, how? Because I don't want to get neck deep into a bunch of a bunch of campaigns and clients, and for some reason I changed my email. Oh, well, here's the thing. Let's say I blow an email. I think Brady was talking about, get the .NET version of your email just in case. So my point is, if I blow my email and have to change it to use another, I just thought I'd throw it out there. I don't want it to mess up or log me out. But anyway.
As far as like you said, it changed on the Dominator side. The Dominator login has a completely different login credentials than the backend software. So there shouldn't really be any difference there.
Right.
But they are different logins. So just so you know.
But no, I agree. But I use the same credentials, because there were new accounts, right? Even the Dominators, even though I have a Dominators account, it was like a new thing. And so I use the same information on both. I changed it. I believe. I changed it. It had to be. I changed it on the app side. I changed the email, and all of a sudden the Dominators didn't work.
Okay, we'll look into that. We have some test accounts, and we'll play with that and see what happens.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing that to our attention too. So, all right, Rich, go ahead.
Yeah. I kind of did the same thing when I set up the email API. Originally it was set up as the email that I used to log in to, and I signed up to Acquisition Air. And then when I set up the API for the email and entered my port and all that, and sent an email to my custom radio stations. And I'm like, well, I don't want people to see custom radio stations. Is that what my client would see? So I changed that email so it would go to my new email, what I'll be doing for the leads. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And
you want to go ahead, Daniel.
Okay, sorry. There are a couple emails that your client could see. In the emails that are automatically tokened out, you have a customer care checkbox. So you can say, use this account for customer care. That one is when someone replies to any of your automatic emails, like the password reset, things like that, the customer care email address is the one that's tokened into that. Then in addition, when you set up your SMTP, to white label your email address so it's not sending out from John's. So when you, if you're a white label agency, you set up your SMTP white label, they of course will see the emails coming from that email address, but the reply to may be a different one. It depends on what you put into your customer care settings So does that make sense? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, because the one I originally signed up with, it wouldn't be the one that I would want customers to receive. So I had changed it with inside my dashboard.
Okay, and feel free to send grab a help ticket, and we'll take a look to make sure that your sending and your reply to email address are the ones that you want it to be.
Yeah, because at first I wasn't receiving test emails once I set up my port and all that. I'm like, oh, where are they going? Then I realized, oh, they're going to the one I don't want them to.
Got
So
it.
I switched it out. Okay, will do.
All right. Anybody else? These are great questions, by the way, guys. This really helps us to dial the system in. One thing I wanted to mention, I showed a video of one, somebody created a marketing video just like almost immediately to sell this stuff. And I took the script. I'm working on the script right now. I think Richard had asked what program they used to create the video, because it was an AI video creation tool that was used. And you literally just give it the written script and it creates this, it's not a top-notch Hollywood quality video, but it's pretty damn good for an AI video. And the program, I'm going to put it in the chat. It's nvideo.io. So I put that in the chat. Oh, I need to put it in here for everyone. Okay, so there, you should have it in the chat. That's the video program if you want to create marketing videos to promote your businesses. It was really impressive. And all you have to do is just write a script that you want the video to say, and you upload it, and it makes the video for you. So you don't have to have any video capabilities. It will do all of the heavy lifting for you. You just have to tell it what you want the video to say. And I'm writing a script that will be a generic script where you can plug in your company name and whatever you want to plug in, and to help you guys out with that. So I'm pretty good at the script writing. So all right. Okay, so anything else before we wrap up? I know I want to thank Brady and Daniel. They have just done a phenomenal job at dialing this thing in and just making this a smooth process for everybody. And I wouldn't be here without them, I'll tell you that. So,
John, I'll say this. I speak for Daniel too, I know, and he can say something as well, but John's mentioned it several times, but we built this from the ground floor for the one-off business owner to somebody that's an agency that just wants to meet other agencies and sell them the software. So we tried to think of everything and anything we could, but just to you guys in your support tickets, or, hey, have you thought of this? There's several people I could sit here and give a shout out to that, at first it was like, oh man, there's a lot of support tickets, but we got through it. And now we've continued to think about, how do we even make it even better? So, the only bad question is when you don't ask, don't ask. So if you can make all of your support, I'll reiterate what John said on the first of the call. It's not that we don't want to have a personal touch, but just like you as a white label, you're probably starting to think about all the things that we're implementing and you're asking questions about it. Just like an FAQ section or a video section or a training support site, you're probably starting to think about how do I put that together for my business. We're doing that currently. So anytime you email us directly, I love you, but I can't get that now easily back into a one inbox where I can get it to the person that they need to get it to easily. Now I have to forward it and it's lost in the shuffle. So again, there is situations where maybe we have to do that, but watch the videos. I know they're boring. I know they're dry. There's probably something that's missing. We're getting new ones, and they probably still won't be up to par to some of you, and that's okay. As long as the software still operates effectively, we're all good to go. We're all going to make money. But the reason we're doing that is, again, to channel that through one inbox so we can really focus and build out the FAQ, PDFs. Somebody missing to Facebook group, maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'll talk to John about that. But we can build our own community in our members' site of acquisition, error training, and support with additional resources and stuff like that. So that's kind of my goal, is for all of us to kind of be able to feed off of each other, because what you are putting together or starting to think about, like I know Richard's in the process of doing a lot of this as well. we're doing right now. So the more that you help us, we can help you. And that's just everybody working together. So appreciate you guys, sending some support tickets in. It really has helped us. I know Daniel's like, beyond like, this is awesome because I'm getting to see what are the things that aren't going well, but also what are the things that we can continue to do to make this better for everybody.
Yeah,
So
the feedback is
all that
from
stuff. Daniel, just a little bit of meat on the bone here. Maybe just a quiet list of things that that are in development queue or in the future. You hear me talk about in the future, guys, at SaaS. It could be 6 years, it could be 6 days, it could be 6 months. We're not going to sit here and say that. We'll put our foot in our mouth. But Daniel, just real quick, maybe some things that are
So in the future, per your request, let me actually pull up my dashboard here, my developer dashboard. We're going to enable. It is in. Sorry, I'm reading my dashboard, looking through here. In the very near future, like this next week, agencies and clients who are in other countries will be supported. So that's a big one. Client level whitelist that has been requested multiple times. So when you the re-identification option, when say don't re-identify for 6 months or don't re-identify ever, have the option of that applying to the entire account for your client. That is in the future, very near future. Some reports for you as an agency owner on your dashboard where you can see roll-ups of your client's campaigns on some roll-up reports. Those are in the future, being worked on right now. Those are really good suggestions. The update the failed client credit card process. That's a big one. I heard you loud and clear on that one. That's coming. And let me look at this other tab just a second. We have in the integrations. Let me talk about integrations. People ask what integrations do we have? Let me pull this up real quick.
Go High Level is coming.
Go High Level. These are the ones requested, no particular order. Aweber, Mailbox Power, Thanks.io, Zapier Direct, Constant Contact, Lemlist, Woodpecker, Mailgun, and Go High Level. We talked about that already. And HubSpot. Those are the most requested integrations. So those are a near future focus. So yes. And of course, remember Zapier integrates with a lot. So yes.
And Daniel, just so you
go ahead, John.
Daniel, just so you know, Sunday night I've arranged from the people from Kartra to be on the boat for the final night of the parade. They're actually catering the Sunday night parade party on the boat. And I'm going to have a little conversation with them about this. And we might be doing a Kartra integration as well. I think I'm going to be able to convince them to, if we force it through SendGrid inside the Kartra integration, I think they're going to give me the green light.
That's exciting.
Yeah, very cool.
So it's not a maybe, it's going to happen. We'll just speak that.
Yeah.
If you have anything, again, there's a couple hundred of you. So unless it's something that you are just, painful about, you don't have to send it in as a support ticket. But if it is something you feel like would add value to the whole group or a curious question, feel free to put in support. Again, I showed you that on this video. We will send this back out as a replay. So I'm not going to show you that right now how to do that. But hey, we can't say that we do it tomorrow, but if it's in a list of developments, at least it's been heard and we can think about it for the future use if it's something that can benefit the group. So.
All right. Let's take Diane, and in the meanwhile, I'm going to send Richard a private chat here asking him if I have permission to share something brilliant that he came up with. So go ahead, Diane.
Well, then I'll be super quick because I want to hear the brilliance. I've actually just been searching. My Skype glitched when I think whomever showed where we get the ChatGPT prompt to use here. And so I thought maybe someone
go to your it's in the training and support site. I think it's a couple locations, but I know one is in the search AI tab at the top, kind of towards the right side. And in best practices, there's 3 tabs. That's one of them.
You want to show it to her?
Yeah.
You should share the screen.
Yep. I'll do a little Vanna White here. All right. So,
The
here we go.
Well,
So over
I
here
don't
in
want
the
to take away for
search,
the brilliance. Oh, I was
Right.
in the wrong.
search AI tab, best practices. Right here, keyword selection using ChatGPT. The best practices is good. All three of these are good. Guys, I get it. It's an 18-minute long video. It's Daniel and Brady, pretty monotonous in how we speak. But if you're wanting to understand, like I gave this analogy, if you drove a gas engine your whole life, you can still understand about the car, the brakes, all that kind of stuff. But if you throw an electric engine into that thing, you got to understand how it operates. And really, that's kind of what we've done. And it doesn't mean it's going to take 10 years to figure it out, but we're giving you free information of understanding. Like, really, I've told Daniel this, like, it's Daniel's brain on paper. How would Daniel operate this vehicle if he was the driver? So this ChatGPT is literally, we kind of give you some thought process behind it, making sure like, hey, you're not just getting SendGrid and saying, sweet, awesome, I got, all these leads coming in, and bam, you get shut down because your email, and domain's not warmed up. There's things that we've put in here besides just ChatGPT, but this font right here that is bold all the way down, these are the only two things that you need to put in. Daniel, I'll let you explain this real quick. So let's just take real estate, for instance. Somebody's in real estate. They're trying to find people that are looking to buy or sell their house. What would be your subject or purpose? And this is not like gospel, but it's an idea of what you would put in the subject or purpose to make this ChatGPT prompt work for you, Daniel.
Yeah, great question. So for real estate, subject would just be homes for sale, sell my home, well, a phrase like that. And then purpose would be a little more descriptive. Finding people looking to sell their house or buy another house. So just be a little more descriptive in the purpose. Subject to be a little bit closer.
Yep. And it already is prompted. Again, if you want to tweak this, by all means, but we put this together just to make it, again, we know this is going to be questions you guys have. And any of that, don't feel like, hey, it's a stupid question. We're going to give you a response in the support tickets to say, hey, that's already over here. It's in this video or it's in this document. You can find it. But if it's something that's new, we can continue to build this out. Like, for instance, I'll put the InVideo link up there. I'm going to put the DNS checker. I mean, there's other things that we can do to help you guys out. If we're having those questions to us, we want you guys to be empowered with those. But that's where you would find it, Dan.
All right, cool. So we will take, let's take one more here, Mr. McLean, and then I'll share Richard's brilliance with you guys.
May I make a feature request of John in the Zoom call? In the Zoom call settings, you can click a button that says show call duration. It's a little clock, that runs like the length of the call.
Oh yeah.
And that would so Brady just covered ChatGPT. I could just on a piece of paper write down ChatGPT 1 hour 50 minutes. And I could, anything that strikes my, like all the stuff you put in there, about the checkdns.org, I just write down that time code, and on the playback, I can go right there and find it. Would you consider that?
We consider all good things.
Fantastic. That's my feature request.
All right, cool. So on one of our Thursday calls, Richard's been on those for forever. He's been with me and learning, and this is where the student outdid the teacher finally. He was coming up with ideas for how to market, Acquisitionaire under his brand, of course. And he called it, everyone knows retargeting, right? And it's really important, like with marketing, that you name things uniquely. So now all of a sudden, it's yours. It like belongs to you almost. And that was like SEO. When I started doing SEO, nobody knew what to call it. We weren't calling it SEO. It didn't have a name yet. It wasn't until somebody got the brilliant idea to put that name on it, and then it was a thing, and it was a big thing. Well, Richard came up with, I think, the next big thing. And he calls this not retargeting, it's pre-targeting.
Oh.
So calling this just as a generic industry term, pre-targeting, this sort of lead generation, I thought was absolutely off the hook brilliant. So we might have the name for this generically as a thing because of Mr. Richard here. So thank you for that one, and thank you for allowing me to share that, because I think you just put the tag on the next SEO.
Thank you.
Boy, Richard.
Thank you, John. It only took 13 years, right? Okay.
Hey, you got there. You you beat me hands down on that one. You beat me to the punch.
I will tell you, John, that during my life, and unfortunately at one point I was poisoned, and it literally scrambled my brain into pudding for about 30 years. So I lost a lot of time, and I got a lot of time to make up on. But in my life, I've had about 4 clearly out of the gate $1 million ideas that I could never get anybody to back up, and I could never get ahead of the idea. You know, in 1968, when I graduated from high school, I realized that a business called Future Classic, because I could buy all the Mustang 55 T-Birds and everything I wanted for $500 to $600 all day long. And now that they're going for $250,000 each, I think that would have been a good investment, but nobody could see it. This is number 4, and it's the best one yet. I mean,
your time has truly come on this one, I think.
This is generational wealth, guys. If you don't understand that this can create generational wealth, particularly if you take your first, let's say $5,000 and drop it into, I don't know, something like XRP. You got this. This is the time. This is the place. This is the future. You need to go all in on this. I've hired 2 sales guys that they've hired salespeople. They've run salespeople. They've run sales teams. They're currently running a business. And I said, if you qualify on those levels, I'll tell you about a new product we have. Both of them have dropped what they're doing to come on board to do this full time. So people that know what this is, I mean, I have a habit of when somebody calls me to outreach to me, because I went on a website the other day and looked for something. And they said, well, would you be interested? I said, well, no, actually, I'm launching a company right now. And I gave them the elevator speech of basically, yeah, we can do market qualified leads for less than the price of a click. They're threatening to book a call with me and their sales team next week to see about maybe taking this over instead. So you guys never know where your next shot's going to come from. But if you're not all in on this, then John, I think that maybe you should get a job.
Oh, you're killing me.
Hey, Richard, I look at it this way. It didn't take you 13 years. If you make $1 million in 2024 from this tool, you made about $77,000 in the last 18 years each year because of that you just came up with. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I mean, I've had good little wins all along the way. I mean, to be able to do, because I was one of the early. I bought John the first time he offered SEO as a public thing when he was talking to the school teachers that couldn't afford it and created the course. And I think it was, I want to say Ryan Dice, but it could have been somebody else that actually did the initial outreach. And I was on board with that program. And I had my first $5,000 a month doing that. So yeah, it's and this, I understand why John shut down his SEO, because it's beyond description, really.
Yeah, awesome stuff. Well, hey, I want to thank everybody for being on here and everybody for going on this ride with us. So this is going to be, I know for me, probably the most exciting ride of my life. So I'm glad to invite you all to join me with it. So really, really cool. And the team that we've got is absolutely phenomenal. So I don't think you can go wrong with this one. So anyway, thank you guys. I mean, we've been on here over 2 hours, and that says a lot for, you giving up your time on a Friday in the afternoon. So thank you again for being here. We'll do more of these. We'll probably do these. Brady was talking about wanting to do these every week. I'm not sure if he's up for that. I know I'll probably do one about once a month.
I said I am willing to do them for an hour a week. I have no problem with that. It may not be Daniel and John on the call, so you're getting the least of the three options when it comes to digital marketing. But it comes to business and sales, let's talk. I'm good to go. Now I know enough about the system to be dangerous, but when it comes to the technical, you're getting Daniel in the support ticket. So Carrie, if you're still on here, that's why we haven't really been able to communicate in the tickets, because all of your questions are technical and you've helped us tremendously. So shout out to Carrie Goodbrand. I think he's in Australia or something, but no, I'm willing to do that. I'll talk with John on what makes sense, and we'll go from there. If anything, maybe twice a month, because we want to be different. Honestly, I don't think too many tech companies, like John said, are willing to do this. Now, when we have 5,000 clients, we don't have to limit that to once a month. My time might be spent elsewhere with the enterprise people, but we'll find out with time who those folks are. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, very cool. I want to wish you guys all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that stuff. If I don't talk to you before then, but again, welcome to the ride of our lives. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Let us know if we can do anything for you. We are here
Thank
for
you, John.
100%.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brady.
hey, John, real quick, do you mind if I share Lauren's video on the additional resources tab, or should we wait till the
Sure.
second pass?
I'd probably wait for the second pass.
Okay.
Clean it up, cut it down a little bit.
John P., that's your answer. I will get it when John and I clean it up a little bit and get it out. You don't want to listen to it; it's really long, but we can put it down to where you can understand it. So
Yeah, it's just got some, it was more of a conversation, so we need to cut some clips out of it to make it really powerful, and it is really powerful, believe me.
thanks, Lauren.
Yeah. Thank you to Lauren. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your Friday and get out there and make this thing happen. I can't give you a better tool and a better opportunity to go into 2024 with. You are carrying the suitcase. You're carrying the football. It has the nuclear weapon in it. Don't be afraid to push the button.
Thank you.
All right, guys, have a great one. We will talk soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.